I don't know about y'all, but I am really enjoying seeing my mutuals out of the protests in Washington, D.C. and elsewhere around the country. But in particular, there's a number of large influencers who are in D.C. Who have been there for the protests on the 5th and are now going to be there for the protests on the 22nd. I guess by the time I'm posting this, that's today. I actually had a local activist here ask me if I wanted to go with him to the protests that happened on the 5th. Unfortunately, because of childcare obligations, I'm not able to make those kind of big cross-country trips. But I'm so glad there are so many other folks who have platforms who are willing to go and cover these events, contribute their time, their resources, their platform to educate people about what's actually happening. And in particular, I just want to take a second here and elevate Jolly Good Ginger. For me, it's been fascinating over the last year to watch folks who maybe, made entirely different content before the election, just completely pivot their platform and the kind of topics they're covering in order to defend this country against the fascist takeover of Donald Trump. That's very much what happened to me. My friend Optimistic Soap on Instagram and Facebook as well, and several other folks that I'm mutuals with who didn't really do political content before the run-up to the election or after the election. But then I think, like me, just feel compelled to use whatever resources we have to try and defend our democracy, try and defend people in this country who are being targeted by the regime, whose rights are being violated. For lack of a better word, I've watched a lot of people become far more radical than they were previously. Maybe a better word is emboldened. Maybe people are willing to take bigger risks with their platform, with their resources, with their lives, with their freedom to defend democracy because the stakes are really high. I've just been so inspired watching Jolly in particular become such an incredibly bold, outspoken voice for democracy, particularly for veterans and for immigrants. I want to show you one small example to illustrate what I mean.
So check this out. This is a fucking ICE vehicle where they got the goddamn license plate taped off. Man, fuck that. This guy don't even have, he got his license plate taped. So I gotta be on the sidewalk, but he don't have to fucking follow the law. So he's cool to kidnap people in a fucking illegal truck, and you're worried I'm 1 foot in the fucking road? This is Chicago Police Department licking the fucking nutsack of ICE. Look at this. Look at this. This guy don't even have fucking license plate. Fucking look at him. These motherfuckers can go around the city and kidnap people with fucking their license plate taped up, but I stand 2 foot in the fucking road and it's a goddamn crime. This is where we live. And listen, real quick, let me say something. I get a lot of messages, a lot of text messages, DMs, comments saying, hey, stay safe. Listen, guys, nobody's safe until we're free. I'd rather stay free. We can't stay safe, we gotta stay free. That's gotta be our goal. That's why I'm not worried about that. I'm following the road wherever liberation takes me, but we're not safe till we're free.
I've seen that clip before and I got a little teared up watching it again this time. Jolly is so right. Timothy Snyder says we can either fight for freedom or we can die in unfreedom. I've just watched Jolly become so much more outspoken. He might be the only creator that I follow who swears more than I do. I was totally here for all of the F-bombs and all of the way that he's just like not taking bullshit. He's not afraid to accurately describe what is happening. He's not afraid to speak truth to power. He's not afraid to advocate for veterans and to mobilize veterans to act on behalf of the American people to organize for and defend democracy. Jolly doesn't know me from anybody. He doesn't follow me, but we have a number of mutuals in common. He has no idea that I'm making this video. I just am a really big fan. I've been watching his content for the last several months and thinking he has become more and more outspoken. He understands the gravity of the situation and he's not alone. There are so many people who are willing to use whatever resources they have. I don't mean just somebody with like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of followers. There are folks in my personal Facebook feed who are like mutuals that I went to college with. No, mutual is not the right term. I got a little bit chronically online. Fellow alumni that I went to college with who have a couple hundred Facebook friends, but they are still using whatever platform they have to speak truth to power, to advocate for democracy. They are not minimizing what is happening in this moment. I know I've said this time and time again, but if you have a social media platform, if you are a celebrity, if you are a musician, if you are any kind of person who has any kind of audience that you can speak to about what is happening in the United States, if you have any any capacity to speak out against injustice, and you have a platform where anybody will hear you, you have an obligation to use your platform for that purpose. There's no such thing as neutrality. There's no such thing as like, oh, I don't get political. People's lives are on the line. Everything is political. It is only those who have their heads in the sand or have tremendous privilege or are profiting off of the regime who can say, oh, I don't do politics. I'm not political with my platform. ICE is zip tying children and hauling them off. ICE is breaking into the homes of families where they do not have a warrant. They are pointing guns into the faces of mothers and babies. They're throwing clergy to the ground. They are shooting clergy in the head. They are breaking the ribs of grandmas who are trying to film what they are doing. President of the United States has called for the deaths of sitting members of Congress simply for explaining the law to current members of the military. If you think that you can be apolitical in this moment, if you think, first of all, if you think you can be silent and that you will be protected, you are delusional. There is no amount of safety that you can procure for yourself under fascism. It doesn't matter who you throw under the bus, that will not buy you safety. It doesn't matter how many lives you sacrifice, that will not buy you security. Donald Trump and the fascists will turn on you at the first possible opportunity. They will come for you like they have come for immigrants, like they are coming for trans people, like they're coming for children and disabled people, like they're coming for your Medicaid. They will come for everybody who is not a wealthy, corrupt white man. And also, let me say this thing about courage here at the end, because Jolly is one of those people that I look to in terms of being brave in this moment, being courageous in this moment, and understanding that we have to risk it for a biscuit. There is no victory that we're going to gain against fascism. There is no defending our democracy without taking on a measure of personal risk. I have lived it in great detail over the last 10 months. It has been really difficult for me. There are days where I feel very scared, and there are days where I worry a lot. And I look to other folks who are willing to step out in courage. I look to Ezra and Leah from Indivisible. I look to Jolly. I look to Mark Elias from Democracy Docket. I look to people who are willing to be outspoken and bold on behalf of our constitutional rights, on behalf of other people in this country, on behalf of what is moral and just. And I draw my courage from them. And when I see them being willing to take a risk, when I see them being willing to step out, even though they know that it puts a target on their back, even though they know that the regime may try and come for them, that, like crazy alt-right folks online may try and come for them, that helps me keep going more than they know. Like, we all have to encourage each other. When we step out collectively together, that's where we find our strength. Not only are we inspired by other people, not only do we draw our courage from other people, but we actually have power and safety when we move together. That's why my Indivisible chapter always says, who keeps us safe? We keep us safe. It's us together. It's us, the people. So I guess this is my rambly way of saying, thanks, Jolly. If this ever gets back to you, thank you. You are an encouragement to me. You're an inspiration. Watching you be brave and bold in this moment, watching you speak truth to power, watching you advocate for those that are targeted by the regime, that helps me keep doing the same. Anybody else who is willing to use whatever skills and resources you have, whatever platform you have, whatever energy and creativity to use your body to stand in between the American people and fascism, to hold the line for democracy, thank you. Not only are your actions necessary, not only are the sacrifices that you're making now so necessary, just the fact that you are willing to do that inspires and encourages people you will never meet to do the same. This is how we build collective power. This is how we help inspire each other, lean on each other. This is what solidarity means. We, the people, have the power. And right now we have the obligation and the privilege to come together and aggregate and collectively exercise that power together.